Welcome to this explainer on a truly brilliant piece of literature, Satyajit Ray's classic, Patol Babu, film star. If you're gearing up for your Class 10 CBSE Communicative English exam, you are in the exact right spot. We're going to dig deep into the text, uncover those core themes, figure out what actually makes the main character tick, and give you everything you need to absolutely crush your upcoming exam. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap. We're hitting background and lost aspirations, the unexpected opportunity, the power of one word, his true dedication, the core themes and title, and we'll wrap it up with exam questions and common traps. Section 1. Background and lost aspirations. The 52-year-old non-entity. So when we first meet Patol Babu, he's 52 years old, and let's be real, life hasn't exactly gone the way he planned. The text paints a picture of a guy who has just faced setback after setback. Looking at this timeline, you see a man who's defined by hard work but severely plagued by bad luck. In 1934, things were actually looking up. He left Kentrapara for a higher-paying clerical job at Hudson & Kimberley over in Calcutta, and for 9 years it was smooth sailing. Get this, he wasn't late a single day in those 9 years. That right there establishes exactly how meticulous and disciplined this guy is. But then, boom, 1943 hits, and due to World War II retrenchment, he suddenly loses that job. For the next 10-plus years, he's just struggling to keep his head above water, bouncing from a variety store to a Bengali firm to selling insurance, never really getting a lucky break. But amidst all this daily grind, there was one thing that used to bring him just pure, unadulterated joy: acting. The text actually calls acting a passion of the remote past. Back in his younger days, he was known as Satyajit Ray, an amateur at theatricals and jatras, and acting? It wasn't just some casual weekend hobby for him. It was borderline an obsession. His name would appear on handbills in bold type, and people literally bought tickets specifically just to see him perform. That is the true burning artist buried inside this struggling 52-year-old man. Section 2. The unexpected film opportunity. A chance of a lifetime. Now, the inciting incident of our story happens on this completely mundane morning. And what's really interesting here is the sheer randomness of how fate steps in. His neighbor, Patol Babu, randomly drops by. His brother-in-law, Naresh Dutt, works in film production, and they desperately need a very specific actor for a Bar and Mullick film. They need a short, bald, 50-ish man. Naturally, Nishikanto immediately thought of Patol Babu and recommended him for the gig. Now, the narrator specifically uses the word non-entity to describe Patol Babu here. And a non-entity is essentially someone who seems unimportant or without special qualities. Because Patol Babu is so incredibly unassuming and humble, the text tells us that an offer to act in a real film coming to a 52-year-old non-entity like him felt, well, beyond his wildest dreams. He instantly starts imagining this as his big break, the very first step on the ladder to fame and fortune. So he shows up to the shoot at Faraday House, buzzing with nervous excitement. But then comes the crushing reality. A crew member, Sosiko, hands Patol Babu his highly anticipated dialogue on a torn little piece of paper, and it is just one single word. Oh. Imagine the gut punch. Patol Babu's heart just sinks. He feels the sudden throbbing in his head. He literally feels like he's been dragged into the middle of the city just to be made a laughingstock, like he's the victim of some gigantic hoax. The disappointment is absolutely absolute. Section 3. The power of one word. The mentor's wisdom. While he's standing there in the stifling heat, genuinely contemplating just sneaking away, a faint memory stirs in his mind. He remembers the saintly advice of his old mentor, Gogun Pakrashi, a wonderful actor who didn't have a single trace of vanity. Gogun Pakrashi used to tell him, however small a part you're offered, never consider it beneath your dignity to accept it. Squeeze the last drop of meaning out of your lines. Each word spoken in a play is like a fruit in a tree. This memory, it completely flips Patol Babu's perspective. It's a total game changer. He realizes that this one tiny monosyllabic exclamation actually contains a goldmine of meaning if he approaches it like a true artist. Let's see how this mindset builds into an unbelievable display of professionalism. Patol Babu sneaks off into a quiet side street to rehearse. He calculates exactly how many steps he needs to take to collide perfectly with the lead actor Chanchal Kumar. He even requests a newspaper from a bystander to hold, just to add that extra layer of authenticity to his absent-minded pedestrian character. And most brilliantly, he figures out exactly how to deliver his one word. He decides to mix 50 parts of anguish, 25 parts of surprise, and 25 parts of irritation into that single, solitary, "Oh." Section 4, true dedication over financial reward, the climax. Right as they are about to shoot, the famous director, Baron Mullick, pauses the whole production. He decides the pedestrian needs a mustache to be a bit more visually interesting and calls for a butterfly-style mustache to be glued right onto Patol Babu's face at the last second. Looking in a mirror, Patol Babu realizes this mustache perfectly suits the character. The text notes that Patol Babu inwardly commended the director's perspicacity, which just means his ability to understand things quickly and accurately. Even though the rest of the crew had been pretty indifferent, Patol Babu recognizes and deeply respects the director's artistic eye. And when the camera finally rolls, Patol Babu executes the collision flawlessly. He times it so perfectly that the lead actor's head actually hurts, and Patol Babu delivers his mathematically calibrated O with supreme agonizing effort. Section 5, Themes and Title Significance. Analyzing the core message. And this brings us to what brilliantly illustrates the central conflict of the whole story. It's this stark contrast between external recognition and genuine dedication. The film crew, they represent external recognition. They only care about the big lead star, getting the shot finished, and handing out a quick 10 or 20 rupees to the extras to make them go away. But Patol Babu, he represents genuine, intrinsic dedication. He rehearses a single word in completely different pitches. He channels Gogan Pakrashi's pure artistic pride. For him, the real reward is the profound inner satisfaction of a job done perfectly, completely regardless of who is actually watching. Now, for those character sketch essays you're going to have to write, you need hard textual evidence. You can't just say Patol Babu was a hard worker. You've got to prove it. This breakdown is your exact blueprint. To prove his meticulous, bring up that he wasn't late a single day in 9 years at Hudson and Kimberly. To prove he's unassuming, quote that he felt the offer was beyond his wildest dreams. And to prove his sheer passion, describe how he spent all his waiting time rehearsing facial expressions in front of a glass window and a quiet, empty side street. That is essay gold. You also really need to grasp the profound irony of the title itself, Patol Babu, film star. In the literal Hollywood sense, Chanchal Kumar is the film star of the movie they're shooting, but Satyajit Ray is making a much deeper point. By dedicating himself entirely to his craft and treating a one-word role with the exact same reverence as a Shakespearean monologue, Patol Babu completely elevates himself. In the context of the story's moral universe, Patol Babu is the true, undisputed star. Section 6, Exam Questions and Common Traps. Tactical Mastery. All right, this is one of the highest yield exam prompts you are going to encounter. Why does Patol Babu walk away before he can be paid for his role, and what does this actually reveal about his character? The examiner here is testing your deep comprehension of his underlying motivations. So the crucial point here is knowing how to avoid the common traps students fall into year after year. Number 1, do not say he left because he was angry or insulted by the small payment. He absolutely wasn't. Number 2, do not forget to mention Gogan Pakraschi. His mentor's advice is the absolute catalyst for his entire transformation on set. Number 3, do not just lazily summarize the plot. You have to focus heavily on his intense satisfaction. And lastly, to really anchor your answer and show you read the text, always quote the exact emotion mix he used for the word O: anguish, surprise, and irritation. Before we finish up, let's just do a rapid revision checklist. Burn these names and facts into your memory before you walk into that exam room. Our protagonist is the 52-year-old Patol Babu. The director with a keen eye is Baron Mullick. The lead actor he literally collides with is Chanchal Kumar. The mentor, whose voice echoes in his head, Gogan Pakraschi. His entire singular dialogue is the word O. And the core theme you need to remember is that genuine artistic satisfaction fundamentally outweighs external monetary gain. To sum it all up, keep this exact sentiment from the text right at the front of your mind. The crew paid 10, 15, or 20 rupees, but what was that against the intense satisfaction of a small job done with perfection? That right there is the pure essence of Patol Babu. Sure, he needed the money desperately, but his dignity and his artistic soul, those are worth infinitely more. I want to leave you with one final thought today. If a single sigh of "oh" can hold an absolute goldmine of meaning for an artist, how does Patol Babu's perspective challenge the way we view our own everyday, seemingly insignificant tasks? Think about that next time you're doing something small. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Good luck on your exams and keep analyzing.